When buying a car these days, you got a lot of options. From import, domestic, late model, classic, and the list goes on. I could talk a long time about the pros and cons of each of them. But for your sake, today I'm just going to be telling you my reasons I think you should buy a classic. One of the bigger reasons to buy an older car is that they're so easy to work on. With cars getting more and more complicated, fixing cars yourself is slowly becoming a thing of the past. Luckily, the cars of the past are still easy to work on. Their simple, mostly mechanical engines make it easy to diagnose a problem, and when you do find the problem, you'll be happy to know that their big engine bays give you plenty of room to work while you fix it. So if you're a beginner mechanic wanting to start a project car, an older car is a great option. Another reason to buy an older car is their performance potential. Typically speaking, when modding a late model car, you won't receive the benefits of your aftermarket exhaust, intake, or turbo unless you tune the ECU. So if you don't know much about ECUs and computers, or if you don't have the money to pay someone else to tune it for you, then you'll be happy to know that classic cars can be tuned by yourself, with just a screwdriver, vacuum gauge, and a YouTube video. With tuning figured out, modding your car becomes almost instant gratification, being something you could do in the weekend and be back on the road feeling your horsepower gains in no time. For my next reason, I have that they hold their value. Generally speaking, new cars depreciate just by driving them off the lot. Older cars, specifically muscle cars, have a much more fluctuating market. So when it comes time to sell it, you're going to have a good chance at making money or at least breaking even. Not to mention that if you buy one as a project, like I'm sure most of you guys are, fixing them up is also going to add value to it. So if you're smart with when and where you spend your money, you might even make some. Also, with all this inflation going on, it might just be wiser to buy a car or something with value instead of trying to hoard all your money. One of the reasons they hold their value so well is that they're getting kinda rare, which leads me to my next point. I might be getting a little ahead of myself, so let me explain. Automotive history is fascinating. Seeing how cars started versus how they are today is mind-blowing. But as all things, when time goes by, they begin to break down. It doesn't matter how popular that GTO or Camaro was when it first came out, or their effect on culture throughout the years, if they've all rotted away. So when you buy a classic car, you're in charge of preserving it for future generations. On top of that, you get to experience it for yourself, which is a total win-win situation. My last and probably biggest reason I think you should buy a classic is their timeless styling. There has been a lot of cars made in the last 50 years, but none of them have developed quite the cult-like following like the cars of the 60s have. And that popularity is largely because of their styling. Having big grills, lots of chrome, and sleek bodywork. I think we all can agree that the cars of the 60s are some of the most beautiful ever made. And while I know I sound like a salesman, in conclusion, I definitely think you should buy one. They're just too much fun, and there's a lot of good reasons why you should. We got all sorts of content to satisfy your muscle car cravings, so if you enjoyed this video, well, first be sure to hit like, but also check out our other videos and subscribe to stay updated. Anyways guys, have a great week and I'll see you next time.